Lately, I've been seeing the word larping making the rounds on social media and meme culture, and it feels like nobody's using it correctly anymore. So I'm gonna have to be the teacher that some of you guys never had and step up, and especially to those who accuse anyone of larping, and especially those who accuse people of larping when in reality they're just new fans, or just forgot a few small details about X thing, because the bottom line is this: if everything's larping, then nothing's larping. LARPing, as most of you know, stands for live action role-playing, and is essentially where you pretend or make believe by physically acting out an event or story. Now, how modern meme culture has reanalyzed the word is basically where you pretend to have knowledge on something you don't actually have knowledge of, and is a way of calling out inauthenticity. The amount of times I have LARPed at Jazeera is uncountable. Hashtag Abu Shanayib Trip 2027, Arkas and Hayya and other such buzzwords. Only 1 or 2 people watching this will get the joke. The point where LARPing becomes bad is when you say over and over that somebody not knowing the topic fully means they're suddenly not a real fan of it. First of all, being a real fan of something is nebulous. Fandom in media is something to be enjoyed at one's own leisure, not by following a strict rulebook. Things can be enjoyed and adopted by a fan of something at whatever pace best fits them on an individual level, and often is done non-linearly. You can, for example, be a newcomer to consuming a specific property, and not know all its ins and outs, as newcomers often don't, and still be just as valid of a fan as somebody who's had skin in the game in terms of consuming that same property for years before you. I touched on this in my last video, but somebody can structurally have an upper hand compared to you and still have areas of vulnerability themselves. It applies to the concept of suffering, and it applies to the concept of enjoying things too. I don't know what happened, but lately it feels like we've become a lot more binary, and nuance died, and people are dancing on its grave. 2 or more things can be true at the same time, and I don't know why we as a collective human species have seemingly forgotten that. Another thing I dislike is the usage of the word larper to silence people from speaking on a specific thing or to scare people away from doing so. It's so stupid, since fandom and enjoyable community things in general are meant to be shared, and using a term especially incorrectly from its base dictionary definition is stupid and needlessly demeaning. And if anything, it means you're larping the word larp itself, because you're acting out perceived yet shallow authority over a topic, property, fandom, or whatever you have in real life and in real time, which makes you the larper. This meme sums up my feelings on the word larper when it's used incorrectly, like how it mostly is nowadays. Keyword being when it's used incorrectly. If you're using it as the original definition intended, then all power to you. Bottom line is that if you're so quick to call anyone a larper, especially when you know that's not true, or when you don't even know the original meaning of the term, then the meaning of that word gets degraded over time. And yes, words change, semantic drift, times change, yada yada yada. But even then, and if we accept the new meaning of the term, then even then it shouldn't be used as a cudgel against others for simply not knowing any better. Instead, use it as a teachable moment to gently educate somebody on a topic within the media you're both consuming, instead of taking the moment as a blank check to be needlessly haughty about. And instead, use it against people who are pretending to have knowledge on a topic, especially regarding media or fandom, for negative purposes, instead of going after people who are new to X thing, like Batman targeting a jaywalker, or what the community does to thieves in Africa when the police don't get to them first. Alright, back into the void. I just wanted to talk about this. Also, listen to Hikaru Utada. That's my commentary. Bye for now.